some countries and nations grow and develop broad-basedly and sustainably while others do not. The explanation to it is multilinear and multidimensional, but it melts down into some major factors, some of which includes the creation of business-friendly environments, government's economic expansionist policies, the bigness of government role in the economy, including ownership of big enterprises, capacity and capability of administration or the political elite, and the ability of the country to dominate internationally, and the level and the capacity to innovate and create aggregatedly. These are the major factors. As far as the first factor is concerned, business-friendly environment. Business-friendly environment is a broad concept and a broad-based application, and the creation of business-friendly environment includes obedience of law and security, and the establishment and undertakings of business-friendly policies, proclamations, rules and regulations, protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights, and other business regulations and legal frameworks. National, domestic, and geopolitical security, peace and stability, pro-investment government policies. These are the major business-friendly environment factors. Those countries who do score high in these terms do attract more investment internally and externally, thereby amplifying the total investment and economic activities, and vice versa. The second one is massiveness of the government. As far as the massiveness of the government is concerned, government's massive roles in the economy. Massive ownership of big enterprises, massive infrastructure, massive production, massive enterprising capacities and involvements plays a big role in terms of stimulating the entire supply and the value chain. That's why East Asian countries do prosper while Africans remain stagnant, if not shrinking. Massiveness, the economic expansionism of the government plays a great role in terms of stimulating and expanding the entire value and supply chains, because as far as infrastructures, productions, agriculture, services do get expanded, they do create plenty of employment opportunities, and they do create plenty of economic opportunities. So there are various supply chain and contract managements. And when you consider the multiplier effects, productions, infrastructures, and big government spendings, has to do with the multiplier effects. They do exponentially grows economy, or they play an exponential role in terms of multiply the entire total of production and the total accumulation of wealth and resources in the given country or place. And therefore, the importance of massive government spending, massive government infrastructures, and massive productions, enterprising, cannot be calculated by the total investment the government has to do in its own economy. Rather, you have to encompass the entire total multiplied effects. Therefore, if a given country's government de-invests, for example, 100 billion US dollars in a given time span, maybe 1 year, its total impact on the economy cannot be underestimated to be 100 billion. Rather, it amounts to hundreds of billions if you have to consider its entire multiplier effect, the stimulation it has to do to the entire value and supply chain. Therefore, total economic output of that massive spenders can approximately run up to $500 billion. That's why massive state investments, expansions, production infrastructures has a multiplier effect in terms of emboldening the entire total output of a given country or place. Another factor is capacity and capability of the leadership is another major factor. Capacity and the capability of the administration matters. Whether the administration or the government is democratic or otherwise, capacity matters. Depending on the political tradition of a given country or political party, governments can be democratic or the opposite way around. But the entire capacity, if the entire capacity of that government or the total capacity of the single dominant figure has a big to do with the successfulness of economic growth and development. Because as far as being a government is concerned, they have to tackle plenty of problems from multiple directions. And in this regard, if you are going to sustain your country, not only in terms of security and stability, but also in terms of proceeding with rapid and purposeful economic growth, capacity matters. Because sustaining a given country or region can be achieved only through iron fists or dictator regime. But if that dictator regime has a limited capability, individually or collectively, it cannot sustain progressive economic growth. That's why China is a dictator country, but collectively they do have a huge leadership capital, administrative capital.